I don't know. Maybe we should just make up some ad-lib phrases for the channel every time we come through. Just something new. Just so we don't get stuck in a rut. You know what I'm saying? And it's really that time. Welcome in to the channel, as it were. Took a nice little break, nice little layoff, you know what I'm saying? But it's back to the YouTube trenches. So we're going to do a collective reading tonight, and we're going to use the Art Therapy deck, the Santa Muerte deck, and of course we're going to use Fancy's deck. And we're going to talk a little spiritual, you know, what's going on in the ethers, because it's still in the air. If you've been tuning in, it's been one of my key phrases that I have been reiterating over and over. It's in the air. Literally. You know, it's twofold. There's a light side and a dark side to everything. We talk about social media. It's an overload if you let it be. But it can also keep you in touch with what's going on around you, right? But you gotta be careful what you take in at this time. We just got finished with retrograde, so congratulations if you survived Mercury retrograde. Some people said it was rather harsh. I didn't feel that at all. And, you know, maybe a couple people resurfacing here and there, no big deal. But for the most part, it went pretty smooth, you know, for a lot of people. I think it was mostly based upon where you're at. Some people, it seems, are a bit more ahead of the curve right now, so to speak, as far as their work, and how they're, well, let's just say how we're processing this new cycle that we're in. The last video I did, which was on, I think it was on Instagram, was called Chapter 1, and it really feels like a new beginning in a new skin. Got to get used to the lay of the land now, the language. You know, if you compare it now to 10, 20 years ago, it'd be such a difference, you know what I'm saying? Just the way that we relate to each other. Crochet, what a tangled web we weave. Crochet. This is about social media as well, the web, right? The World Wide Web. But this is more about sensitivity right now, your sensitivity to your environment. I really miss this time of the year up north because this is when the tree spiders start coming out. And they're the ones that build the big webs in front of your front porch that you run into when you're walking outside. The big red ones. And we got them here too. We got, there's one in the backyard, the horned spider. Beautiful looking spider. It's like that shit you see in Zelda. But I say that to say that these spiders spin their web every night. And it goes in line with what I was just talking about keeping things fresh, you know what I'm saying? Having something new on deck. Looking at each day as a new experience. Doing your best not to carry over anything, especially something that's unwanted, you know what I mean? But this is a metaphor, you know, you kind of clean the web out every night. You really, this is the time when meditation really helps. Any kind of physical activity that helps you combine mind, body, and spirit, but helps you purge, you know. It's a lot you can do right now for yourself. If you're not already doing it, congratulations if you are, because this is what's going to keep you in alignment, because things are really changing from day to day. It's important that you clean your web because that's what helps you stay in tune with everything around you, if that makes sense. It keeps the web clean so that you know what's in the web, you know. If you've ever seen the webs in your basement or something, you know, they got flies and all kinds of stuff in there, right? They haven't cleaned that web out, so you can't really tell what's in there. You couldn't tell if it's a leaf or an insect at that point. That's your next meal. But if you clean your web, i.e., meditate, cleanse your aura, do things that'll help you flush out the day. Not trying to hold on to anything, really. An inkwell, here we go again, telling a new story. We're going to pull from Santa Muerte, but in between there, we're going to do some of the art therapy decks. Number between 1 and 5. There it is. Celebration of Strengths. And good evening to everybody in the chat. Welcome on in. Make yourselves at home. If you want a art therapy card or a couple card pulls, just a donation. It's in the description below. That's first come, first serve kind of thing, and I take care of it on the spot. But celebration of your strengths is the goal for this activity. Explore who you are. 45-minute commitment, collage, blah, blah, blah. This asks you to, in the middle of the paper, write your name, a little photo of yourself, and surround your name and photo with the images or words that show aspects of yourself that you're proud of. And you could do this anyway. These are just suggestions, blah, 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 that you could do for the exercises. But I did this in the Mayan calendar class that I taught not too long ago. And people didn't take it serious. They didn't hand in their homework. I don't think anybody did, which was, whatever. But it was like, the 8-armed deities from the Hindu mythologies. All those arms represent an aspect or an attribute of a quality. What would you put as one of those arms for yourself? You know what I'm saying? If it was a picture of you and you put a Hindu body, kind of like Inkwell here, what would this arm represent? Would this be your compassion, your kindness? Would this be a talent or a gift? But something that you really feel is your strength, your resilience maybe over here, your ability to make decisions. Like you really you can't downplay anything that is a part of you right now. You know what I'm saying? But Inkwell is about writing that new story. So let's move skydive out the way because we're still Transformative Tarot here all day, even though we've evolved into the Who-kah lounge. It's still all within the umbrella of it all. You know what I'm saying? And we're not the average tarot channel because we don't deal with the mundane as much as we deal with self-refinement over here. We don't care about the gossip. We're really not focused on the world as it is. We're focused on our journey in that world and what we need to do to, navigate this realm so that we can accomplish what we came here to do, fellow travelers. So let's take a look at this inkwell and this crochet. And I hope you're all having a wonderful moment in time. 8 of Cups, okay? I feel this. This is an emotional release. This is what we're walking away from. This could be something really heartfelt too, because we're dealing with the cups. Family, friends, something that you really used to love that you're walking away from. Saying goodbye. But there's a pearl in it. You know what I'm saying? It's bittersweet. It's like the memories of it all are really, yep. It's time to make a choice. The memories are very close. They're very heartfelt. They're it's like a sentiment, sentimental, being very sentimental. And the moon card. Okay, so this is for my people that are in the middle of making a choice and haven't quite made one. And then for Inkwell, you'll find the feathers everywhere, especially crow's feathers. We'll put inkwell right over here, and then we'll shift over a little bit and see what we have here. Nine of Swords with the Two of Swords. A lot of twos here, a lot of choices. What's next for you? What really is your motivation now? This Eight of Cups represents something that you used to do, that you used to maybe have a love for or a passion for. Seen a lot of people change their occupation. Seen a lot of people change relationships at this time. Even resident, it could be just like your residence, something that was really sentimental, like a family home or a shared home. Maybe there was a divorce, separation, blah, blah, blah. But this is a moving on and leaving something behind and making different choices now. It's like deciding what you want to do. This is another, and this could be almost like PTSD. And I say that because this also has the feeling of somebody who's coming home from war. You look at all the veterans who have survived some horrific stuff and they come back from war. It's kind of like, how do you find peace now in all of that? You understand what I'm saying? That's just an example of it all. Something you were dedicated to, something that was heartfelt. And maybe that's more of what this celebration of strengths is. What got you through your last cycle? And we have a 5 here with the 4 and a 1, which is change, of course, because that's where we're at now. We're changing. All of us are changing, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. The world around us is changing, and it's time to make different decisions. And this is why I say social media is not a bad place as long as you don't overindulge. It's like super saturated with information. From diet and health to relationships to, the state affairs of politics and, ICE, the orange man as they call him, Iran, points of view, perspectives. All of this is outside of oneself. This feels more like getting in touch with what's inside and getting back into the original program. What I mean by the original program, what you came here to do, what was in your heart to accomplish when you got into this life. It's funny because it's such a variety of different reasons why people come here to this planet to learn. It could be something like writing a book, you know what I'm saying? It could be starting a family. It could be mastering the art. Some people are down here to really just get their freak on and learn about their sexual nature. Some people are down here to finish what they didn't finish in another lifetime. But through all these classes and course curriculums, we are learning. And these learning experiences show us aspects of ourselves. Show us aspects of ourselves that maybe we're uncomfortable with, that we're not aware of. Snap, the white mirror, is here. And this archetype speaks about facing oneself and facing the truth. That little sword in the middle is actually the sword of truth that shatters the illusion. And there's a lot of this going on right now. Who are you right now? Who are you really? Who are you becoming, kind of thing? These kind of questions in the forefront, based on the experience, based on what you've learned up to this point. What's got you through tough times? You know what I'm saying? What's helped you overcome your obstacles and challenges and celebrating that part of yourself? This is an acceptance as well. This is an acknowledgement of self, from the anger and the frustration to the peaceful nature that you possess, to compassion that you have within, to the destructive nature that you possess. We are all of these things, but we tend to exemplify certain qualities more so. The peacemaker, or is it the troublemaker, But still, all in all, these are learning curves. There's always going to be an opposite down here in this realm of duality. For you to go up, something has to go down. For someone to prosper, someone has to suffer. And through these trials, what have you learned about yourself? And the last card out, well, that's the deck. That's the deck card. The yellow human. Meditation again. And the yellow human is it's come up quite a bit. The yellow human is about being connected with all that is. There's been a very interesting and heightened, in my experience, focus on trees because of the information they hold. For me, they're like librarians. If I could give them a label, they're like librarians. You know what I'm saying? For the information that they hold. Hell, some of these trees might have seen you in a past life. That's how old they are. Maybe even a couple of different lifetimes. But the retention, and this is also the green ones they call them. But anyway, I digress. Ebb is about the wisdom of the journey. What we had to let go of in order to grow with this 8. I'm going to pull it out because I feel it's really a telling card tonight about the release of something very emotional. This could even be, something from the past, trauma, childhood, things of that nature, things that have lingered for too long, and making a choice. And this is also a call to meditation. And this is what I'm talking about when I say in the beginning of my videos, it's in the air. And I'll be saying that for the next 6.5 years at least, until Uranus pulls up out of Gemini. Because this is where the unexpected happens. All the ideas, all the new inventions, all the outside of the box kind of inventions, ideas, blah, blah, blah. They're just waiting right above the collective for somebody to reach up and grab them and bring them down. These are the solutions. These are guidance and direction in times that we live in. That's much needed. The planet is not safe. In 93, it was no thing to get 2 jobs somewhere, hired on the spot. Cost of living was down. It was pretty much easy to make a living. Even getting closer to about 2000 to 2012 wasn't that bad, And this is more of a mundane thing. We had more communication between people, face to face. People knew how to communicate with one another. The social media wasn't as big as it was. Life was a bit simpler, Even if you want to go back to the Generation Xers who, stayed outside until the lights came on kind of thing. There was more substance to life, if you will. It wasn't so digital. It wasn't so pixelated. Whereas now, that's really where we're at in this society. Age of Aquarius kind of stuff, right? We didn't have AI. We didn't have search engines thinking for us. We did the research ourselves. So there has been a sacrifice getting to this point. Some of us were born into it, for you younger viewers. So this is all you know. You don't know the other side of the game. You know what I'm saying? Where you memorized everybody's number on the block. You knew your grandmother's number by heart. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have a phone that retained the memory that you should be using kind of information. Regardless of all that, the yellow human is about influence and respecting the process and your own free will. The influence is really talking about how you really talk to yourself. The influence. The languages that you're fluent in. And I don't mean like Japanese or, Spanish or things like that. The language of the universe. The language of nature. The language between you and another person. And that should go from person to person. No two people communicate the same. But what influences you at this time? It's a big focus. By, but also your own influence. This is a reminder of the value of your words, your thoughts, and your ideas. Things that maybe you have put to the side for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe things that you forgot that you're really great at. Getting back to that essence again, where your free will is in the forefront. Not so much being guided by others or, seduced by the dogma of the world or the trends that go on. This is really kind of an against the grain feeling right here with the yellow human. We're going to get two more cards, and we're going to pull one more from the art therapy deck. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. What's my guess? Card number 17. What did we talk about? Decisions, decisions, decisions. Developing self-trust and exploring inner knowing. Here's that wisdom yet again. Even if you don't do the exercises, it seems like there's still added information in these for you. Whatever you need to help make a decision, use pencil, pen to draw two different shapes that represent what you are choosing between. Inside each shape, use color shapes, textures to represent each choice. Think about what you're feeling as you look at these shapes. Symbolism kind of thing. And it goes back to, again, our decisions, what we're cutting out. These two speak of stagnancy. Got the Eight of Pentacles. Oh, I'm sorry. I read this wrong. This speaks of stagnancy. But change. Not working so hard. It's funny, I spent the last week doing absolutely nothing. I think all I did was fix my bike up or something like that and clean up the yard a little bit. But besides that, it's been a very kind of lackadaisic. And I think this is a time of recharging for a lot of us. So that this downtime is allowing us to really see what we desire now. Feels like a lot has changed with a lot of us. We're no longer seeing things the way we used to, the way we were programmed to believe when we were younger about the world, about who we are, and about the direction that we're going individually and as a collective. It's a new story. And again, more choices. The Lovers popped out. Look at this. More choices. So this reading is really about what you're choosing to do with the next chapter of your life. Are you choosing to stay in the same simulation, so to speak? You know what I'm saying? Same frame of mind that you were in when you were, you know what I mean? Whatever. The old. Or are you going to rewrite your story? So this review, especially the Mercury retrograde, helped you see whether you were really content with where you are by the people, places, and things that came back around, and by your own reflection. Yeah, not making a move, being still right now. And then we have the genie in the lamp popped out of there. Be careful what you wish for. And this is more of a nudge out of the door rather than a cautionary thing. if you're watching this channel, you're probably a little bit more involved in your thinking, meaning that you're careful with the words that you choose, especially when you're speaking life or the lack thereof into your existence. But also reminding you that this is just an experience and that the larger portion of you, this is representing the human body as the lamp and what we think we are sometimes, but this represents the totality of who we are, the larger view, the larger portions of ourselves. Speaking to that and that alone. So the overall theme tonight, of course, is decisions. Getting out of your own way, fine-tuning all the things that you want to bring with you, so to speak, and making room for new things to come in. Honoring your strengths at this time, your newfound ones, your gifts, your powers, your abilities, whatever you want to call them, that you've gathered from your last chapter, or shit, maybe even lifetimes, that last retrograde really kind of touched some deep nerves with a lot of people, myself included, through dreams especially. But this is a call to action without action. This is stillness, and we're going off that theme of duality with all these twos. This is moving forward while standing still. This is taking the time to meditate and get the messages that you need. So this is a time where you taking that personal self-care, those moments of stillness and quiet so that you can hear this part of yourself speaking and asking the right questions so that you can move forward with whatever it is that your heart's desired at this time for yourself, and not getting caught up so much in the, I don't want to say the details or the semantics of it all, but it's that whole thing of if you had all the money in the world, you wouldn't be thinking about the money. You would be thinking about what you want. It's more about focusing on what you want, more so than how it's going to show up. What really drives you, what really motivates you at this time. Is it a new house? Is it a relationship? Is it, making sure when you die, you don't have to come back again? Like, wherever you are on the scale right now, whatever level you're on, it's time to make a choice. And the easiest way to do this is going to be in stillness. Don't put nothing else out there. Don't be rash. Don't be so impulsive. It's really asking you to sit still and fine tune it all. Really feel it out. And you'll know if you're here because of that. Where is it? This right here. Having to leave things behind or being left behind. It's duality again down here. The loss of something. And the stress of the world. But this is one of my favorite cards simply because of that book right there. And if you see in that book, there's a little red marker where said individual, i.e. you, left off writing a story. And now being able to fine tune that story. Add certain details. Maybe it took the last chapter of your life to kind of get it all into perspective. Maybe you had to revisit something and go through it again. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just to show, even though it was something you didn't really need to experience again, but you did it anyway. Being hard-headed. It's kind of got that stubborn energy. Welcome in from Indonesia. What's going on in Indonesia? welcome on in. We don't get, you might be one of the first people I've had from Indonesia. We've had it from a lot of places. But welcome into the Who-kah Lounge Transformative Tarot. Oh, we got to get to this too. So let's review anyway. Meditation. Treating life as each day is different. Don't carry over the feelings and emotions from one day to the next. You just never know. It's about being prepared. And the example of the spider cleaning its web out every night is making sure that you're just tuned in, that you're sensitive, that the things and the information that you're receiving is a clear message. You know what I'm saying? And that what we're weaving at this time, as far as our story, is meant for us, nobody else. I don't care who it is. Leaving things behind, looking at oneself, and accepting all the aspects not putting so much work and effort into this. And this just feels like more physical work than anything else. Getting more in touch with that spiritual divine part of you. And making changes, making choices. Not making moves until we've made those choices. And these are just nothing but choices right here. And then our cards of the day were, we'll keep that one out. But one was straight up decisions. I think I put it back. Yeah, I think I put it back. But that's the messages for today. I know it kind of seems like it was all over the place, but trust and believe when I say that there's something in here for everybody. But the most important thing now is what comes next? What do you want to come next? And what choices or decisions are you going to have to make? What sacrifices in some cases? What habits are you going to have to change? Good fortune on your journey and take care of yourselves. I'll talk to y'all later.